The slap cracked through the attic before Elara Vance even saw it coming. Her head snapped sideways. The taste of iron flooded her mouth. "Look at me when I speak to you, Hollow One," Seraphine Vale hissed, gripping Elara's chin hard enough to bruise. "You will serve tonight, and you will not embarrass this pack." Elara swallowed blood and nodded. Below them, the Ravenmoor pack roared in celebration. The Winter Ascension gathering had begun. Music pounded. Wolves howled. Laughter thundered through the great hall. Elara's fingers trembled. "Please," she whispered, voice thin. "I can barely stand." Seraphine's smile turned sharp. "Then crawl." She shoved Elara toward the staircase. The attic door slammed behind them. Tonight was the night wolves claimed mates, forged alliances, cemented power. And Elara, defective, shiftless, unable to heal, was expected to pour wine like a servant until she collapsed. She collapsed. She descended the stairs slowly, one hand gripping the rail to ease the ache in her poorly healed ankle. No one had treated it properly after the accident. No one except her own shaking hands. The great hall exploded into view. Golden chandeliers, massive wolf banners, warriors boasting near the hearth. And at the center of it all stood Alpha Darian Crow of Ravenmoor, broad, cruel, commanding. Elara lowered her eyes instantly. "Move," someone barked. She hurried forward with a tray of crystal goblets. A wolf deliberately knocked her shoulder. Another stuck out a foot. The tray wobbled but didn't fall. "Careful, little ghost," one of them sneered. "Wouldn't want you breaking before spring." Laughter followed. Elara kept moving. Invisible. Silent. Useless. Then the doors blew open. The wind that followed felt different. Heavy. Predatory. Silence swallowed the hall. Every head turned. A tall figure stepped inside, black suit, dark eyes, controlled power rolling off him like smoke. Kael Draven, Alpha of the Nightfall Dominion, the continent's most feared wolf. Darian's smile tightened. "Draven, to what do we owe the honor?" Kael's voice was calm. 10 years ago, Ravenmoor starved. The hall stiffened. "You borrowed grain, gold, protection." Darian's jaw flexed. "We repaid. You did not." The words cut clean. Murmurs spread. Kael stepped forward, measured lethal. "Tonight is the deadline. Gold or assets?" Elara froze mid-step. "Assets?" Darian laughed too loudly. "Surely you don't expect." Kael's gaze shifted. It landed on Elara. The tray trembled violently in her hands. He studied her like a blade being assessed. Seraphine scoffed. "That thing? She's broken. She doesn't even shift." Darian added coldly. "Worthless. A defect." Kael didn't blink. He walked toward Elara. Each step echoed. She couldn't breathe. He stopped inches from her, close enough that she caught his scent. Clean, sharp, stormdark. "What is your name?" he asked. Her lips parted. No one had asked her that in years. "Elara." His jaw tightened slightly. "Put the tray down." She glanced toward Darian, panic rising. I can't." Kael's eyes hardened. He took the tray from her hands and dropped it. Glass exploded across the stone floor. Gasps erupted. Kael's voice filled the hall. Dead settled. Darian's eyes flared gold. "You dare." "She leaves with me." Elara's heart slammed against her ribs. Darian shifted without warning. Bones cracked. Fur burst through skin. A massive black wolf lunged across the hall. Screams scattered. Kael didn't shift. He moved. Faster than anyone tracked. He caught the wolf mid-leap. Slammed him into a pillar hard enough to splinter stone. The impact shook the hall. Darian snarled and snapped. Kael struck once. The wolf hit the ground and didn't rise. Silence. Kael placed a polished shoe on Darian's neck. Challenge denied. Then he turned, removed his jacket, and draped it over Elara's shoulders. The warmth stunned her. "Walk," he said quietly. She hesitated. Darian growled weakly from the floor. "You belong to Ravenmoor." Kael's gaze flicked down. "Not anymore." He extended his hand. Elara stared at it. All her life, every hand had pushed her down. This one waited. Her fingers slipped into his, and the hall erupted in whispers as she walked out beside the most powerful alpha alive. The SUV doors shut with a heavy thud. Elara curled into the corner of the seat. "Where are you taking me?" she asked. "Home." She shook her head. "To sell me." Kael's voice sharpened. "You are not merchandise." She laughed bitterly. "That's what they all say." He was quiet for a moment. "Do you know what wolfsbane does in small, repeated doses?" Her stomach dropped. "It suppresses a wolf, weakens healing, prevents shifting." Her breath caught. "You've been dosed for years." She stared at him. "No," she whispered. "Yes." The word landed heavy. "Why?" she asked. Kael looked straight ahead. "Because if you ever shifted, you would be stronger than Darien Crow." The world tilted. "That's impossible." "No," he said evenly. "It is not." Tears blurred her vision. "I can't shift." "You've never been allowed to." Her fingers gripped his jacket tighter. The SUV turned through iron gates. Ahead rose a fortress of glass and stone surrounded by untouched forest. Nightfall Dominion. Kael stepped out, opened her door, and without hesitation lifted her into his arms. "I can walk," she protested weakly. "Your ankle was shattered," he replied. "Badly set." Her heart pounded. Inside, warm light greeted them. Wolves bowed their heads respectfully as Kael carried her through the grand foyer. He didn't slow. He didn't explain. He didn't ask permission. He took her straight into the master suite and set her down on a bed softer than anything she had ever touched. "You rest," he said. She searched his face. "Why?" His eyes darkened. "Because someone should have protected you." And for the first time in her life, Elara believed him. The door burst open so hard it struck the wall. "Alpha." "Now," Kael cut in sharply. "Examine her." Dr. Rowan Hale hurried forward with a medical case already in hand. His expression shifted the moment he saw Elara sitting stiffly on the bed, trying not to look small in a room far too large for her. "I need honesty," Rowan said gently. "No minimizing." Elara nodded once. He began with her ankle. The moment his fingers pressed along the bone, she flinched violently. Kael's jaw flexed. "Who did that?" "It was a trap," Elara whispered. "I stepped wrong." Rowan's eyes lifted to hers. "No, this wasn't an accident. This was crushed and left untreated. It healed crooked." Kael's hands curled into fists. Rowan continued. "Multiple rib fractures. Healed badly. Severe anemia. Dehydration. And," he paused, pulling out a small testing strip, "traces of wolfsbane saturation in the bloodstream." Elara stared at the floor. Kael went utterly still. "For how long?" he asked. Rowan didn't hesitate. "Years." The air in the room shifted. Kael turned away abruptly. His shoulders tightened. For a split second, something darker flickered in his eyes, gold bleeding through black. Elara saw it. "Don't," she said quickly. "Don't be angry." His head snapped toward her. "You think this is anger at you?" She didn't answer. He took one step closer to the bed, voice low but shaking with contained fury. "They poisoned you, broke your bones, starved you, and you ask me not to be angry." Her fingers twisted in the bedsheets. "It's normal." Silence fell heavy. Kael knelt in front of her. Not above. Not towering. Kneeling. "It is not normal," he said slowly. "It was cruelty." Something cracked behind her ribs at that word. Cruelty. Not weakness. Not defect. Cruelty. Rowan cleared his throat. "She needs rest, protein, iron supplements, and detox treatment. If the wolfsbane leaves her system completely, her wolf may attempt to surface." Elara stiffened. "No." Kael's eyes locked onto hers. "Yes." She shook her head, panic rising. "What if nothing happens?" "Then nothing happens," he replied evenly. "But if something does, You will not face it alone. Rowan finished wrapping her ankle properly and stood. I'll prepare the detox infusion. When the doctor left, the room felt too quiet. Elara's voice came out smaller than she intended. Why did you choose me? Kael didn't answer immediately. He studied her like he was memorizing something sacred. My wolf has been silent for 10 years, he said finally. She blinked. Silent. No reaction. No instinct to claim. No pull toward anyone. Her chest tightened. When I walked into that hall, he continued, it woke. Her breath hitched. It wasn't pity, he said. It wasn't strategy. It was recognition. Recognition of what? She whispered. His voice dropped to almost nothing. Power. The word scared her more than anything else. That night, sleep came fast and violent. Elara's body surrendered to exhaustion the moment her head hit the pillow. And then the nightmare came. She stood in a field of thorns. Cold wind tore through her thin dress. Something howled in the distance, not mournful but furious. The thorns shifted, wrapped around her ankles, her wrists. She tried to pull free. The vines tightened. Then she saw it. A massive silver wolf trapped at the center of the field, vines digging into its luminous fur. Its eyes burned amethyst. It looked at her, not pleading, commanding. Wake up. The vines snapped. The wolf lunged. Elara jolted upright in bed with a scream. The lamps flickered. Energy pulsed outward from her body in a sharp, invisible wave. Kael was at her side instantly. Elara. Her breathing came in gasps. I saw it, she whispered. A wolf. Silver. With. He froze. Her eyes glowed. Not gold. Not brown. Amethyst. Bright. Violent. Ancient. Kael's pulse thundered in his ears. He had only read about this. Legends whispered of the thorn-bound matriarchs, sovereign females whose voices bent alphas to their will. Extinct for centuries. Until now. Elara, he said carefully, look at me. Her gaze locked onto his. For a split second, something ancient stared through her. Then the glow faded. She sagged forward. I'm not broken, she whispered shakily. Am I? He cupped her face gently. No, he said. You were buried. The next 2 weeks changed everything. Food strengthened her. Supplements restored color to her skin. Her body began responding. Healing faster. Sharper senses. Stronger reflexes. Kael trained her personally. Again, he ordered. She lunged. He sidestepped easily. Too slow. Frustration burned. She attacked again. He caught her wrist. You hesitate, he said. I'm thinking. Stop thinking like prey. The word struck deep. She shoved against him harder. Good, he murmured. She stumbled but didn't fall. Sweat slicked her skin. Anger coiled inside her, not fear. Anger. Again, she demanded. His brow lifted slightly. She attacked with everything she had. He let her push him back one step this time. Her chest heaved. That's it, he said quietly. That's what they were afraid of. Before she could respond, an explosion shattered the courtyard doors. Glass sprayed inward. A massive figure stormed through the smoke. Thorn, Ravenmoor's executioner. Scarred. Brutal. Smiling. Alpha Crow sends his regards, Thorn growled. Kael moved instantly. Elara behind me. But something inside her snapped. No. Thorn charged. Kael intercepted him, but Thorn's claws raked across Kael's arm, drawing blood. The scent hit Elara like lightning. Her vision sharpened. The world slowed. Thorn lunged again. And Elara stepped forward. Enough. The word wasn't loud, but it carried. Energy erupted from her body in a violent shockwave. Thorn flew backward across the courtyard, smashing into stone. The ground trembled. Her bones began to crack. Not painfully, powerfully. Silver light spilled from her skin. Kael stepped back. Elara. Her scream tore through the night as her body shifted. Not into brown, not into gray, but into something vast. Radiant. A massive silver-white wolf stood where she had been. Amethyst's eyes burned in the darkness. Thorn scrambled to his knees in terror. "That's not possible," he choked. The wolf stepped forward. Ancient. Sovereign. And Thorn realized too late. Ravenmoor had tried to kill a queen. Thorn tried to crawl. The silver wolf did not rush. She advanced slowly, each step deliberate, the stone beneath her paws cracking under pressure. Kael watched, breath tight in his chest. "Elara," he said softly. The wolf's ear flicked. Recognition. But not submission. Thorn scrambled backward until his spine hit the courtyard pillar. "You're not real," he rasped. "You're a mutation." The wolf's lips peeled back. When she spoke, the voice that filled the courtyard was layered. Wolf and woman intertwined. "Look at me." Thorn froze. The command wasn't loud. It was absolute. His body obeyed before his mind could resist. His eyes lifted to meet her glowing amethyst gaze. "Kneel." He dropped instantly. The courtyard fell silent except for his ragged breathing. Kael exhaled slowly. The legends were true. Elara shifted back moments later, collapsing forward. Kael caught her before she hit the ground. Her skin was warm with residual power. "What did I do?" she whispered. "You remembered," Kael replied. By sunrise, the news had already spread. The Iron Veil Tribunal sent a summons before Ravenmoor could spin the narrative. Darien Crow wanted control of the story. The tribunal wanted control of her. They arrived at neutral territory under strict law. No shifting, no violence. Elara stepped from the car dressed in tailored black. Her posture no longer folded inward. Her eyes were calm, but something steady burned behind them. Kael walked beside her. Not in front. Beside. Inside the tribunal chamber, elders lined the elevated stone seats. Darien stood at the center, fury barely contained. "You stole pack property," Darien snapped the moment they entered. Elara didn't flinch. Kael's voice was measured. "She is not property." Darien threw parchment onto the stone floor. "Birth records. Blood registry. Ravenmoor mark of ownership." A murmur rippled through the chamber. Elder Varric leaned forward. "The documents appear valid." Elara stepped forward. "My parents died when I was 12, she said clearly. "After that I was beaten, poisoned, used for labor. I was denied medical care, denied shifting rights." Darien scoffed. "Lies from a defective Omega." Her pulse slowed. The chamber felt smaller, focused. She lifted her gaze. "Look at me, Darien Crow." The air changed. Several elders stiffened. Darien's jaw tightened. "You don't command me." Her eyes ignited. Amethyst light spilled into the chamber like dawn breaking through stone. "Look at me." His head jerked upward against his will. Gasps echoed. Kael said nothing. He let it unfold. Elara stepped closer. "You claimed I was weak," she said evenly. "You said I was broken." Darien's breathing grew shallow. "You poisoned me." Sweat gathered at his temples. "You buried my wolf." The resonance in her voice deepened. "Now kneel." The word struck like thunder. Darien's knees hit stone with a crack that echoed through the hall. Shock rippled across every face. An alpha. Kneeling. Elder Varric stood abruptly. "Impossible." "It is not impossible," Kael said calmly. "It is sovereignty." Elara turned slowly to face the elders. "I do not belong to Ravenmoor," she declared. "I do not belong to any pack." Her voice filled every corner of the chamber. "I am not an asset. I am not a defect." Her power pressed outward, controlled but undeniable. "I am sovereign." Silence. Then Elder Melis rose. "The thorn-bound bloodline," she whispered. "We thought it extinct." Elara held her gaze steadily. Varric swallowed. "If this is true, she cannot be owned." Darien struggled against invisible pressure, but his body refused to rise. Elara stepped back. "Release him," she said softly. The pressure vanished. Darien collapsed forward, shaking, humiliation etched into every line of his face. "This isn't over." he spat weakly. Elara met his glare. No, she agreed. It's just begun. The tribunal chamber erupted into debate, recognition, fear, strategy. Kael leaned closer to her. You just altered the balance of power across every territory. She didn't look at him. Good. Outside the chamber, wind swept across the stone courtyard. Elara stepped into the light. For the first time, no one looked through her. They looked at her, and they were afraid. Kael approached slowly. You didn't need me in there, he said. She finally turned to him. I needed someone to believe I wasn't broken. His eyes softened. I never saw broken, he replied. Only buried. Her lips curved faintly. Across the courtyard, a cloaked figure stood near the archway watching. Not Darian. Not an elder. Someone else. Still. Silent. Calculating. Elara felt it. War wasn't coming because she had power. War was coming because power had returned. She lifted her chin toward the horizon. They tried to erase me, she said quietly. Kael followed her gaze. They failed. Her eyes glowed faintly in the morning light. They tried to bury a thorn, she continued. A small smile touched her mouth. They forgot thorns grow back sharper. The wind carried her scent across the courtyard. Stronger now. Unmistakable. Sovereign. And somewhere in the distance wolves began to howl. Not in dominance. Not in challenge. In recognition. The Silver Thorn Queen had risen. And this was only the beginning. If you felt that rise, if you felt that power awaken with her, make sure you don't miss what happens next. Like this story, subscribe to the channel and comment below. Long live the Thorn Queen. The war is coming, and you'll want a front row seat.